Hello again, everybody. This is Dr. Deborah. All right, so how do you get this radical acceptance posture, behavior, way of being? Well, let's see. So much. It's so much, but not so much because it's available to you. Uh, Radical acceptance. Let me just start again with my definition of what love is, because the whole point of this is to let you know that you can learn how to love. It's a skill to be learned. I say all the time, they tell us what to do, but they haven't shown us how to do it. And sometimes life teaches us, but even then, it is not a thorough class, I would say. Uh, Dr. Anita Phillips says that in order to give the grace that people deserve and that you want to give people, you have to come from a place of innocence, meaning you have to have what Tyler Perry he calls it a pure intention, where you give without expecting. What Dr. Phillips suggested was that you expect the best from people. You expect they have the you're unjudgmental. That's what children do, babies do. They have to learn how to not trust people by the way people treat them. So she said you should come to the environment with the person, or come to the relationship with the mind of innocence. And then Tyler says your intentions have to be pure, such that no matter what they do, you did what you knew was right to do by them. And what they do is none of your business. Both of these ideals are, and they are ideals, they are captured in my 6-week training to teach people how to love. For the whole innocent idea, we call that not knowing, meaning you come to a relationship without even expecting, you ask questions versus judge or make assumptions. Tyler Perry, when he says you have the purest intentions, I teach a whole class, taught a whole class about how to come at people just totally accepting what they offer without judging, without expecting anything. You do what you do because that's who you are. You are a healer. And so what I've done, I call it radical acceptance, and that encapsulates both of what those people have offered. Dr. Phillips, like I, went to school, learned a bunch of this stuff. Tyler went to the school of life and learned what he knows. And then I have to also offer that we all three of us probably came to this earth with this healing gift, with this idea, this belief, this way of looking at the world that says there is a better way to treat people, there's a better way to be, and we learn them two different ways. We came here with some stuff, and then we learned some stuff. Life taught us, school taught us. School taught me, and I know for certain for me, and listening to the two of them, they came to the earth. God gifted them with this ability to see people, know people, and want to help and heal. And the same applies to me. And so what I want to do is I have a classroom that I have created around how to teach people how to just accept people just where they are, how to create relationships. Again, I have to say, love is holding someone or something in such high regard that you make the necessary sacrifice to stay connected to that person, to that thing. And of course, I use Jesus of Nazareth as the ultimate example of what that looks like, the sacrifice. My book, How to Love, following the example of Jesus of Nazareth, the ultimate postmodern psychotherapist is what I say. And I use the entire book, create a curriculum around those 9 postures and behaviors that Dr. Phillips and Tyler mentioned. And because I spent like 15 years teaching students who wanted to be healers, therapists, how to be radically acceptance, how to love their clients, I realized that love is a skill that you have to learn. And someone, namely me, has to teach you. And while we have bits and pieces, like Dr. Phillips mentioned and Tyler mentioned, and I'm sure you've learned some things at church, nobody, as far as I know, nobody has formalized how to teach people these things. And again, frankly, honestly, it came from teaching therapists. There are just certain ways of thinking, ways of being that you have to sit down with someone whose behavior is like challenging for you, whose ideas are challenging for you. We trained our students, and I was trained how to come to that relationship open, available, accepting, and it's a whole lot of other listening, a bunch of things. And so what I've done is created a curriculum around those things. You not only to be able to do what I do, teach it like I teach, you would have to get a degree I'm just gonna say marriage and family therapy, and you have to getting that degree will encompass these two things: that you take the intro class because it teaches you all about these postures and the way of being, and you have to take the diversity and inclusion class from me. And they're 13 weeks long. Both of those are 13 weeks long, but you can't take, they might let you take them separately. But the whole point is, over that time, that's why I say you need a degree. It takes all of that time for students to get to the place where they can understand what this means and how to do it. And because I taught it for so long, I am able to put it in 6 weeks of work. And of course, it is work. There's some things you have to do. You're not just going to show up and have a conversation with me and your colleagues or friends or whoever you meet in the class and walk away saying, I got it. Unless you've been already working on it. Like I could imagine if Dr. Phillips or Tyler showed up in my class, they wouldn't struggle as much as a total neophyte would with the ideas and how to do it. But even with that, and I include myself in that group, even with that, there's always going to be something that shows up differently, not the same way, differently than some other thing that has shown up. Because you think, oh, I got this, I got that, and then that person or thing shows up and challenges you. But the idea here, and one of the things that we teach is called self-reflection, and that is you look at yourself and you just say, what's my problem here? And then you figure out how to deal with your stuff so that you can come to that relationship open, available, accepting. So I'm offering that to anybody who's interested. And if you're a counselor at church, you need this. I'm just saying, you need it. If you are a counselor and you don't have a degree to be one, you definitely need it, because there are things that you can be doing differently that may lead to greater results for yourself and for those that you work with. So if you're interested, call me between now and January the 5th, and you can get a deep discount for this. 800-361-9068. 800-361-9068. Or you can email me at drdeborah@howtolove.us. Put in the subject line H2L, that is how to love. Yes, exclamation. That's your code. How to love, H2L, YES, exclamation point. Do this before January the 5th, and you will get a deep discount, because I want to encourage you to do this. This would normally cost you about $1,500 individually, separately. But because it is important that I do it, but like you said, you don't work, you don't eat, I have to charge you something, and I'm learning to be a good businesswoman in this regard, but I have to charge you. And so, but I'm trying to encourage you to, if you're interested and you know you need this, then sign up for it now and get the deep discount. It's $697, period. If you check in with me before the 5th, then that is what you would pay you. If it's after that, then I'm going to charge you the full amount. You do the math. So, can't do the math unless you know what it is. It's about $1,500. I think I said that. Yeah. So that's what it would cost you if you, on the 8th of January, that's what it's going to cost you, because that's when our first introductory class is. So this is Dr. Deborah. I am prepared, armed. If you want to look me up, howtolove.us, and it tells you who I am, tells you what I do, what I've done. My curriculum vitae is there. check it out. You know, I've been doing this a really long time, and I've showed up a few times, but not quite like I did today, because I want to get you to learn how to do this so that you can teach it to the people you know, and that we can change our world. They said about the first century Christians that they turned the world upside down. I see us doing the same thing because it is such a time that we need this. And I'm just honored to have been called to present it to us. So until we meet, January the 5th is our first, is when you need to let me know by the 5th that you're interested, and then I'll send you a link letting you know that what your cost is going to be. And after the 5th, the price changes. So I'm looking forward to working with you. I'm looking forward to learning from you. I'm looking forward to collaborating with all of you in some way or another, because we have some work to do, and this is my offering. Until then, this has been Dr. Deborah. How are you loving? How are you living? Radical acceptance is the way to be connected to those in the world, no matter what your relationship is to them. Until then, take really good care.